Hello, my name is Wayne and I live in Grove City, Pennsylvania. Here in Grove City we have an exceptional population of my favorite bird, the red-headed woodpecker. I want to talk to you about their breeding cycle so you can better understand how a population of woodpeckers sustains itself and grows. Red-headed woodpeckers typically make their nests in dead tree snags, especially near less forested areas like wetlands, savannas, and prairies. Here at Memorial Park, the trees are spaced far apart to make room for recreational facilities like pavilions, a fish pond, a pool, and a disc golf course. Surrounding the recreational areas is a woodland with many acres of wet lowland forest. Behind me is a segment of that lowland forest, and this snag right here is actually an active red-headed woodpecker nest. There are many red-headed woodpeckers that use this wider area to find food, make their home, and raise their young. Red-headed woodpeckers love two things: bugs and nuts. They love to eat beech nuts and acorns, but those are harder to come by in the summer. In the summer, they eat mostly bugs, which are especially plentiful near standing water, like this wetland behind me, and there's a pond that you can't see right over here. That is important because their breeding cycle takes place from late spring to late summer. At that time, a pair of red-headed woodpeckers will together choose a place to make their first nest of the season. Many times they will reuse their nesting spot from the previous year. If they choose a new spot, then the first order of business is to start digging. The pair will use their beaks to chip away at the tree, forming a small entrance hole. Eventually, they will excavate a gourd-shaped cave or cavity inside the tree. When they are done, they leave a layer of wood chips on the floor of the cavity, which will act as a soft pillow for their eggs. Once the nest is complete, the red-headed woodpecker pair will do what is called copulation. Both the male and the female have an organ called the cloaca, which they touch together for just a second or two during copulation. Once done, the female is now ready to lay her eggs. She will lay exactly one egg in the early morning of each day until she has completed her clutch with somewhere between 4 and 7 eggs. When she has finally laid her last egg, the pair will begin to incubate the eggs. Incubation is when a bird sits on their eggs, keeping them consistently warm. Contrary to many bird species, both female and male red-headed woodpeckers incubate their eggs. One will hunt for food while the other incubates, and then they swap. After 2 weeks of this, their precious little geodes will begin to crack and reveal the treasure inside: nestlings. Now, the real work begins for these red-headed woodpecker parents. With up to 7 hungry mouths to feed, they will work around the clock, hunting, guarding, and fighting off predators and other birds to keep their nestlings well-fed and safe. Despite all this effort, it is rare that the entire brood will survive to leave the nest. Some eggs won't hatch, and some of the nestlings that do hatch will suffer disease, starvation, or predation. Unfortunate as that may be, red-headed woodpeckers are still here, which means their breeding cycle has been successful for a very long time. For the nestlings that survive, they will spend up to 27 days eating, pooping, and being a general nuisance to their parents. Then it's time to fledge. A nestling becomes a fledgling when it takes its first flight outside of the nest. Usually they will fly in haphazard, gangly fashion to a nearby branch just outside the nest. They can fly, but they are not yet independent. They will stay in the vicinity of the nest, begging for food and learning how to hunt and gather from their parents. After about 3 weeks, their parents will begin to chase them away from their territory, so they better learn fast. Most red-headed woodpecker pairs will attempt to raise 2 broods each year. The timing varies, but some brave parents will begin a second nest while still feeding nestlings in the first. In Pennsylvania, the end of August also signals the end of their breeding season. The parents and their offspring now become competitors in the race to store away beech nuts and acorns for the incoming winter. And that's it. Thanks for watching.